Tired of the everyday grind? Want to get away from it all? Descend into paradise. Florida.
Greetings, everybody, from sunny Florida. Here's wishing you the best of everything. And it's my personal belief that the best of everything comes from right down here.
Well, hey everybody, it's Steph from JustADayInParadise.com, and thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Just a Podcast in Paradise. Me and the Dip Crew love living in the Sunshine State, and it's our goal to help you plan for your very own day in paradise. Follow along as we explore the Keys, theme parks, springs, and everything in between. As you know, we're always going to have a cocktail with you, and today we're drinking some hot apple cider. So we're ready if you are. Kick up your feet, throw on your shades, and let's take a trip to paradise. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Ooh. Hello.
I feel like you need to make it clear that it's not just a hot apple cider.
It's not.
It's spiked. It's got whiskey in it.
Well, that's true. It is spiked.
Yeah, I finished mine already.
Yeah, I thought, we're trying to make it feel like it's freaking Halloween around here.
It's hot,
but
though.
it's hot.
It's really
It's like
hot.
90-something degrees.
It felt okay. When it was Sunday night. It was Sunday night. I went outside to grab something, and it was like really windy out.
And it wasn't
felt
sweaty.
Kind of like fall.
Right.
feeling.
Yeah, when the sun's down, it's been a little bit more mild, but
Yeah.
it's definitely not sweater weather yet.
No, but Megan is wearing one.
Yeah, but we keep the air on 66 while we're recording because it
Always
gets
sweater
fiery.
weather in the studio.
Right. Yeah, so we figured some hot apple cider would be good. Did you guys like it?
Yeah, it
Oh
was really
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Doesn't even taste spiked. It's good. It feels comforting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's
like
the
I
heat
could
of
drink
both
that.
the whiskey and the heat of the apple cider.
Yeah.
I could drink that like when I'm sick.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have a sore throat
and it would make you feel nice and cuddled
and warm.
and warm. Yeah, so if you want the recipe for this or any of our episodes' cocktails, go over to our Patreon page, subscribe, and get yourself a little cocktail cookbook. So we are on episode 3 of our Fallapalooza themed episodes. This week we're going to take a little history lesson and a virtual tour around the state because nothing says Halloween like ghoulish graveyards, spine-tingling tales, and frightening Phenomena.
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 Phenomena. All right. So I know we've all been doing a ton of research, so I figured we'd do a little campfire roundtable and then move into some of our own experiences with the paranormal. And at the end, we have a special interview with David Sloan.
What?
It's true. It's
David
happening.
Sloan?
Yep, he's on standby.
Heck
We're going to be
yeah.
calling him in a little bit, and he's going to share some history on haunted Key West. So let's take a little break. We'll get the campfire going, and then we'll tell some spooky stories.
get nice.
Ready? Here we go. Okay, Garrett, it's time for bed.
No. Wait. Can you tell me a story first?
All right, one story, and then it's nighty-night for you. Do you remember the one about Meggie Locks and the 3 cocktails?
Oh my gosh, I love this one.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Meggie Locks. She went for a walk on the beach. Pretty soon, she came upon a tiki bar. She sat down in the bar, and immediately she was served 3 beautiful cocktails. Meggie Locks can never resist a free drink. She tasted the first one and realized the straw was plastic.
No, plastic is terrible for the environment. I can't drink this.
So, she tasted the second drink.
Gross. The straw's all soggy and all I taste is paper.
So, she tasted the last cocktail.
This hay straw is perfect.
She said happily and enjoyed the rest of her delicious margarita. Well, Garrett, what's the moral of the story?
That when you use hay straws, all natural, 100% biodegradable, gluten-free, and never soggy straws, you're actually doing your part to help take care of our planet. They can be tossed right in the compost bin after and will break down naturally and return to the circle of life.
That's right, big guy.
Good night, Steph.
Good night, Garrett. We can all sleep a little easier thanks to hay straws. Visit haystraws.com to find out more. And we're back.
Hello.
Hello. All
Hello.
right. So let's go through some history first,
Okay.
because that's where this all starts. This is why Florida is so haunted. So Florida is the 27th state in the Union, founded in 1845. But it might have been founded in 1845, but Ponce de Leon found it in 1513. You see what I did? Found it and then found it? Yeah, okay. Tallahassee was born in 1824, Key West in 1822, Pensacola in 1698, and St. Augustine, the oldest city, was founded in 1565.
Wow.
Yeah. So the city has faced war, diseases, hurricanes, and I found a lot of haunted happenings around St. Augustine. You want to hear about them? We'll tell some ghost stories.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
I have one in there.
Yeah? All right, perfect.
I forgot it had.
So it wouldn't be scary stories without a campfire.
Yeah.
Yeah? So let's light the
We
fire.
have a fire? Oh, nice.
How about that? It's like we're really in a campfire.
Campfire.
So the Castile... Wait, should we play the campfire sound while we're talking? Or
Yeah, lower it a little bit. I like
lower
it.
it? Okay, how about this? We'll stoke it a little. There we go.
Stoke the fire.
Stoke it. So I found the Castillo de San Marcos. Have you guys heard about this place?
Yes.
Yeah?
Been there.
What? Was it spooky?
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited. All right. The Castillo de San Marcos was built between 1672 and 1695, making it the oldest and largest masonry fort in the continental United States. 15 battles and sieges have been waged at this military fortress that served as a stronghold during wars between England, France, England and America, and America's Union North and Confederate South. You can head over to thetravelchannel.com/ghost adventures to learn a little bit more. But over the years, evidence has surfaced that the Castillo de San Marcos has been home to more foul play than initially thought. So this was pretty cool. So I guess they were doing some excavation or whatever, like in the decades after the Spanish occupation, and they were moving like cannons around or something, and the floor gave out. And under the floor, they found a room revealing ashes and human bones, and it looked like it was actually a torture chamber for gruesome Spanish Inquisition. So it was like this hidden torture chamber. Hence, ghosts.
Yeah. No, oof.
Right?
Well, my story takes place there.
Oh.
One of them.
Okay,
It's
tell
very-
me, what else happened here?
Well, I was in 8th grade, and we did a Florida trip for our 8th grade trip. We did like Busch Gardens, Disney, and St. Augustine. And we were in St. Augustine when we went to Castillo de San Marcos. And I remember walking into like the kind of POW area, prisoner of war area. Mm-hmm. And it was like an open room, and it's all like limestone. It's a really gorgeous like fort. Like it's just crazy that they were able to even build it back then. Mm-hmm. But I remember, it was almost summertime, and I remember that was the only room that I felt just freezing cold in.
Really?
The whole time. And we went inside a lot of different rooms in there, but that was the only room that like I actually felt just really, really cold in.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ghosts are cold.
Maybe they had the AC just in that room.
Is there? There's probably
There's no AC in the
It's a
Castillo de
fort.
San Marcos.
It's the oldest masonry fort. They didn't
It's
have
called a trick. but
central
anyway.
air. It's called a trick.
Megan's
There's
trying
one
to
other.
debunk my
Yeah.
ghost
You
story.
can't debunk this. It's not how ghost stories work.
Yeah,
They're all real. Don't be an idiot. There's also there's a lot of ghost stories there. So I'm not surprised that you had an otherworldly experience. One of the Castillo's best known ghost stories involves a love triangle. Love triangles are always going to end in ghosts. That's a fact.
Oh yeah.
You can Google it.
Because
Yeah.
like they feel like they're forlorn.
They have unfinished business.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's like the key to any good ghost story. So Spanish Colonel Garcia Marti, his wife Dolores Marti, and Captain Manuel Abela, not Abuela, Abela. In 1784, during the Second Spanish occupation, Colonel Marty, the fort's commanding officer, suspected his wife of cheating on him with Captain Abela. His suspicions and temper were fueled when he claimed to smell his wife's perfume on Abela's uniform. Dun, dun, dun.
And it wasn't the time where like it would just be like, oh, it's just another girl's perfume. It was her perfume.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like she made that at her house. Yeah.
You don't buy that at the Victoria's Secret.
Exactly. So, inexplicably, Dolores Marty and Captain Abela mysteriously disappeared soon after. Ghostly reports from the grounds of Castillo describe a female apparition in a white dress believed to be the forlorn spirit of Dolores Marty. Did you say forlorn?
I did say
wow.
forlorn.
There you go. See, guys, Dip Crew knows how ghosts feel.
Spirits be forlorn.
Other spiritual sightings include the ghost of a Seminole seemingly leaping to freedom from the high fortress walls. Night watchmen at the Castillo, now U.S. National Park, have also reported seeing ghosts of Spanish soldiers patrolling the grounds. So there you go.
Okay.
Soldiers are a big one that like to be ghosts. I don't know if it's that they like to be ghosts, but they wind up being ghosts.
Yeah.
Lovers, and then anywhere where there's trauma. So this is a real hotbed for ghostly activity. You didn't do a ghost tour while you were there, though.
No, we did. We did do a ghost tour. We didn't do one in. But I mean, it was kind of cheap. But the only real feeling I had that there was some sort of spiritual entity near me was in that room.
That's so exciting.
St. Augustine.
There's something about the supernatural, like the paranormal, that I can't not want to know more about it. You know what I mean? Like, it sounds scary. Like, I don't want to have a bad ghost experience or to get scared, but I also do want to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I want to believe it's not real or that it couldn't happen to me, but I also want to know about it.
Right.
It's weird.
Yeah. Humans. Weird. So you can check out the St. Augustine Ghost Tours by Ghosts and Gravestones. Ghosts and Gravestones do a few tours around the state, so they're a big production, and you can get a little bit closer to some of those haunts. I don't know if they're happy haunts like we did in the Haunted Mansion episode, but they're definitely haunts. Yeah, for sure some. So what do you guys got?
I got a different kind of one that, it's not like insanely old. It's back in the 1960s.
What city are we in?
We are in Cape Canaveral, Florida.
Oh, okay.
And this is the site of the Apollo 1 launch complex.
Yeah. Okay.
So
is this a ghost astronaut?
Ghostronaut?
Jinx.
Plural.
Ghostronauts. Okay, let's hear it.
So we all know Florida is home to, NASA's space exploration, Kennedy Space Center. But also, that NASA had two of the worst horrific space tragedies of all time. And I mean, that's the Challenger and Apollo 1.
Did that happen at Cape Canaveral?
They both did.
I did not know that.
So Apollo 1 launch complex was actually the site of the unfortunate accident that claimed the lives of 3 astronauts on January 27th, 1967. And those were named Gus Grissom, Edward White II, and Roger Chaffee. Sorry. Sorry,
Not
Roger.
Chafee.
Sorry, Roger.
Sorry. Roger that.
The crew had planned to become part of history. First Americans to ever go to the moon. That's Apollo 1. Think about that.
Yeah.
Think about that. Apollo 1.
Yeah.
Apollo 11 was the one that got to the moon.
Right.
Just saying.
Allegedly.
So today the complex
We're not that kind of podcast. Sorry, go ahead.
Today the complex serves as a memorial, but the spirits of the 3 brave astronauts that dared to take the risk to explore space might still be around. Visitors report feeling uneasy the moment they step foot in the grounds. Also heard were the sounds of pained screams. Word has it that I can't read my own handwriting. Word has it that a pained scream was last heard on a transmission between the astronauts and mission control.
Wow.
That was the last thing I heard.
That's crazy.
Maybe you can edit this out, but he's not reading handwriting.
I
It's
know.
print. It's print.
I can't read.
I can't read my own font.
Okay.
I also just
Okay,
can't
so
see it.
there was... So when the Challenger exploded, they had that scream transmission, or when did that happen?
No, that was the Challenger was not this one.
Okay.
This is the Apollo 1 mission.
Ah.
So That was when the scream was.
So they don't know where the scream came from.
Well, it came from the rocket.
They know that.
Yeah.
Okay. So then it wasn't as scary.
So should I do the? Yeah, it's not that. Mine are good. Don't worry.
No, it's still good. I mean, I've never thought about a ghost or not before.
Yeah, that's why I was
So
like,
yeah,
this
that's
is
edgy.
weird.
This is a very edgy.
Should I do the Huachula one or the Casadega one?
Well, I feel like we already did an exotic, a Spanish one.
Well,
So maybe you
Casa,
could
it's
do-
just the city it's in.
Oh.
It's the Devil's Chair.
The Devil's Chair? Oh gosh.
I'm doing both.
Okay, which one first? Well, now I feel like I really need to know about the Devil's Chair.
Okay, hold on. So, north of Orlando, there is a city called Casadega. I've actually not heard of it until I did this research. I've never been, but now I'd like to go because it's got two weird things about it. One, it's apparently the psychic capital of the world.
Psychic capital?
Psychic capital.
That's crazy.
Because it has a large number of psychics and mediums that make it their home and perform their services there. But it's also got something called the Devil's Chair. And apparently there are devil's chairs in a couple other states.
Okay.
But what makes the one in Florida a little bit unique is a legend about it. So supposedly it's in a cemetery. If you leave a full can of beer out at night, the next morning the beer can will be empty. It won't be opened. It'll still be sealed, but the beer can will be empty. It's a chair that he made himself, and if you sit there at midnight, you may hear him telling you to do evil things.
What?
But the weirdest, spookiest part is that beer can, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Spoiler
the devil
alert,
likes...
It's me taking the beer.
The devil shotguns
How are you
beers.
not opening it? It's not shotgunned. It's sealed.
Magic.
That's crazy. Oh, man, how far is that?
It's like,
Over 3
I think
hours.
it's about an hour north of Orlando. Let me see. I was really planning on telling the Huachula story first.
You could have done it.
all right.
You gave us the
I
option.
shouldn't have. Casadega is actually only about 30 to 45 minutes north of Orlando. So
Oh.
if you're already going there,
Then you might as well
sit in
bring
the
a
devil's
six-pack
chair.
and meet the devil. Oh, gosh. I don't know if the dip crew recommends this, but I mean, if you're going that way anyway.
And just,
bring
there's
beer
nothing
with
even
you.
like crazy looking about it. It's just like a wide brick bench, but supposedly the devil
That's
himself
so
built
crazy.
it.
So I wonder if the devil has like a preference. Like, you probably don't want to bring natty ice to the devil.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
You know, I'd bring something maybe like
probably a good idea.
imported, or
Isn't there like a Rasputin ale? I feel like he would like that.
he might, or a nice IPA.
I mean, him and Rasputin are buds, I bet.
I bet they are. All right, so I tried to find like some weird ones because Florida's pretty weird. So we started off with like obviously the oldest city in the state is gonna have ghosts, but have you ever heard of a little place called the I-4 Dead Zone?
Yeah, that was one of the ones I was gonna. Now I have
Yes, it's...
You can do it.
to. you're
No,
good.
it's fine.
We'll
There's
share.
like an
We'll share
absurd
stories.
amount of accidents there, right?
Deaths, yeah. So, every day thousands of drivers pass over this unassuming stretch of highway on their commutes, unaware of the dark history that lies beneath them. The quarter-mile stretch of the interstate in Sanford, Florida, is said to be one of the most haunted highways in America. So, it's not a surprise that I-4 is freaking haunted because it's the worst. There's always traffic. There's always accidents. People drive like crazy. It's always under construction. So I don't know if the ghosts have something to do with that. But in the 1870s, there was a real estate tycoon named Henry Sanford, and he marketed the southern shore of the lake to new immigrants and potential citrus farmers. He then sold the 640 acres to a group of German immigrants who founded St. Joseph's Catholic Colony on the site. I guess they had a really bad time. The conditions were pretty difficult, and a disease ran rampant through the colony. And they had a particularly devastating outbreak of yellow fever in 1887 that sealed the fate of Joseph's. The surviving settlers buried their dead in the woods and left the failed colony behind. So now, over the years, there has been just a tremendous amount of accidents. People get lost there. There were some strange occurrences at the former site. Drivers taking I-4 over Lake Monroe have reported strange interference on their radios. Some claim to have seen ghostly apparitions on the road, and some long-haul truck drivers claim that their CB radios blast with static while they drive over the stretch of the highway. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, if you're on the I-4, this is a dip tip. Be careful, because even the living are out to get you there.
Facts.
Yeah. Did you have any other things that happened in the I-4 dead zone?
Traffic. Just traffic.
Okay, traffic. Got it. All right. So, what do you have another haunted hotspot that you wanted to talk about?
That was the one I was going to
That was
talk
it?
about. Well, the other one doesn't have enough information.
I have one. It's fine.
Okay.
So this one's in Wauchula, and you may not be familiar with Wauchula, but we are, because if you take the back roads to Orlando like we do, we go through it all the time.
And every time I pass it, I go, Wachula. Yeah.
And it's a small city, unassuming. Never really thought anything about it other than like who lives here.
Mm-hmm.
No
Like a
offense to
baseball team.
Wachulans.
Wachulans.
But it's got kind of a sad history. During the Civil War, there was a slave that basically served as the town's midwife. And she was haunted by the memory of her own child being taken from her. So she started smothering the baby she delivered and claimed that they were born stillborn. She would then carry their remains in a bucket to a nearby bridge and dump the remains in the river. Eventually, she was driven mad by her murder spree. She was consumed with guilt, obviously because she loved her own child and lost it. Now she's killed who knows how many babies.
Yeah.
So she would start to see the buckets filled with blood on their own. She fell in the river and eventually drowned, never to be seen again. But rumor has it, if you visit the bridge on a full moon, you can see the river water running red with the blood.
What?
It's the Bloody Bucket Bridge.
Bloody Bucket Bridge. First of all, that just sounds... You found really menacing places.
You said
Devil's Chair.
Wauchula, right?
Bloody Bucket Bridge.
Wauchula.
Okay.
Wachula. So that's scary. So next time we drive through there, I feel like...
No.
You don't want to find the bridge.
You don't want to
Well,
find
what
the
are we
bridge?
going to be driving through during a full moon?
I don't know.
And at midnight.
Oh, so it has to meet those...
It didn't say at midnight. It just said
I just,
And with a werewolf.
I just made that up.
the Devil's Chair is at midnight.
Okay, Devil's Chair's at midnight.
You
Bloody
don't have to
Bridge
leave
is
the
really
beer
whenever.
at midnight, but if you sit in the chair at midnight, he might be like, "What up?
Shit.
Like, hey.
What up? I'm the devil.
I'm the devil.
Thanks for this beer.
You want to play fiddle?"
Yeah.
I'm the
You
devil.
bring your fiddle. So the devil went down to Georgia for a fiddle competition, but he came down to Florida for a beer.
Yes.
And to whittle a chair. Well,
Yeah.
it's brick. I don't know. Lay a
Ma-
chair.
Don't
A
make me start
bench.
singing it.
Yeah. So I found one that's a little bit closer to home for us. You guys heard of Coruscant State Park?
Yes.
Did you know that it's haunted?
No, I didn't.
Well-
but I know it's like a pioneer thing.
It's kind of like a pioneer thing, except it's more of a cult thing.
Ugh.
So I didn't know
you're right.
about.
Yeah.
I remember like hearing a
Well, it
little
was
bit.
community.
Right, with a cult leader, quote air quotes.
I mean, any leader could be considered a cult leader.
That's true if you try hard enough.
Yeah.
If you put your mind to it. So, this is a state park and a museum, and it's said to be haunted by the ghost of Cyrus Teed. Doesn't that sound
Is
like
he the cult leader?
Yeah, and his followers, but he's the leader.
Are they called like Tedians or something?
I think they're Coruscants. Coruscants?
That's what I thought. I was like,
Yeah.
is that a hen?
So they're waiting for their leader apparently to resurrect. That's a lot of thing that people. It's a thing that people in cults do. So, shout out to anyone that's been in a cult.
Spoiler alert, he's not resurrected.
Spoiler alert, they're still waiting. So this doctor was from Chicago. He changed his name in 1869 to Koresh. Ugh, sounds like a cult leader.
Wait,
What?
never mind. David Koresh? Never mind. That's another
Wait.
cult leader, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who's David Koresh?
He was a cult leader in that like FBI shootout
What's it called?
in like Texas.
Loco.
Waco.
No,
Waco.
Waco.
Loco.
I said Wilco.
They went loco
Waco.
in Waco.
Was it David Koresh?
This ghost train is going way off the track. So he developed a new religion in which he was the Messiah. Convenient. Teed brought his followers to this location in 1894 and built a commune, the Coruscant Unity. Teed died in 1908, and his followers waited for him to resurrect. After 3 weeks of waiting and no sign of resurrection, the health department forced them to get rid of the body. It was placed in a mausoleum on the beach, but washed out to sea during a hurricane years later. The last Coruscant died in 1982, and many believe their spirits are still watching over the land. Shadowy people have been seen before vanishing on the trails, unexplained voices have been heard in the buildings, and floating orbs of light have been seen all over the park.
Where was this again?
It's like just north of
Wait,
Bonita.
yeah, you've definitely seen it.
There's a sign on the highway. Coruscant State Park.
Oh.
Yeah, there's like, Megan used the word pioneer type, like log cabins.
Right.
I did a little bit more research about this because I've never been there and it's right up the road. And there's people that go out at night with video cameras, and there's a few videos where like
Blair Witch.
you can see some like
Some.
like ghostly figures. Like people, obviously ghosts are in the eye of the beholder, when you see things like orbs and figures, but yeah, there's some activity for sure.
Sidetrack. David Koresh changed his name to Koresh probably because of the Khorasan people.
Oh, that makes sense.
So he was in the 1970s, 80s that he was active. So he was inspired by the Khorasan.
Maybe he was resurrected. Should we have turned the lights off and gotten like flashlights for this?
Well,
Yeah,
it's not
missed
a podcast.
opportunity. Yeah, but that's just for us.
Yeah.
Special for us in the
For you
studio.
guys.
So I thought we've shared some ghost stories today.
Yeah.
But who better to tell us ghost stories than a ghost hunter? Right? You're in? So let's give David Sloan a call.
Yes.
I'll introduce him to you guys, and he'll tell us firsthand about what's going on in Haunted Key West.
Woo!
You guys ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Wow, playing frisbee on the beach is the best.
I know. What a great day for fun in the sun. Why don't you come join us, Garrett? I know how much you love ultimate frisbee.
I'm actually going to sit this one out, guys.
Garrett, that's not like you. Is something wrong?
It's just that, it's really hot out, and my thighs, they're so clammy.
Oh, don't worry, bro. We've all been there. I've got just the thing in my beach bag. Try this balla powder.
Powder. Steph, isn't that for babies?
Not this powder, Gare Bear. Whether you're enjoying an actual day in paradise or just grinding away and daydreaming of your next dip to come, Balla body products for men will keep you feeling fresh, comfortable, and smelling great. The finest Italian talc blend with all natural essentials and fragrances that will keep you chafe-free and walking confidently wherever your journey through paradise takes you.
Wow, Steph, you're right. I've never felt so fresh and comfortable. I'm gonna wear this at the office.
And it smells good, too.
All right, Garrett, go long.
Don't mind if I do, Steph.
All right, everybody. So today we have on a very special guest. He is Key West's Haunted History Authority, renowned author with titles including Quit Your Job and Move to Key West, which is something that I know we all want to do, and Ghosts of Key West, and of course a key lime pie aficionado, David Sloan. Welcome onto the show, David.
Hey, thanks so much. It's great to be here.
Yeah, thank you. So I know Garrett got excited about the key lime pie, so we'll get to that. But the real reason why you're here is because you are the haunted authority in Key West. So we want to give our listeners a chance to get to know you better. So what makes you Key West's haunted authority?
I was the first one to really do it down here. The ghosts obviously had always been around, but people had stopped talking about them. And I moved down here in '96 to start a ghost tour. And I was digging through the archives. I was going everywhere, and I could find almost nothing. And I was about to leave town, and I talked with the historian at the library, and he went into this walk-in vault and came out with a file about 3 inches thick, full of newspaper clippings through the decades of all of the different hauntings in Key West. So I went around knocking on doors, and I was able to talk to people who had been here for 20, 30, 50 years and document all of their stories. And I started the first ghost tour from here, and then I started writing the books about it. And I've always just been researching ever since. I really love history, and I love the research, and I've been obsessed with the paranormal since I was in kindergarten.
That's so cool. I love how you actually, so many historians get like second and third hand information, but I love how you actually went door to door and got to meet a lot of these people that are living in these homes.
It was great. And I mean, so much of that information would have been lost because there are so many stories. And, the average amount of time that someone lives in Key West today as opposed to then is a lot shorter. So when these people leave, a lot of those stories go with them. Mm-hmm. So I feel very fortunate that I was able to document them.
That's awesome. You're keeping them alive, so to speak. So, in today's episode, we're talking a lot about haunted cities across Florida, but Key West is arguably the most haunted city in Florida. So why do you think that is?
There's several different theories. what I find is any of the best haunted cities in the United States were usually along the shipping routes and the trade routes. You know, you have places like New Orleans and then Key West, Havana, Savannah, St. Augustine, Charleston, all of these old seaports. So they're the older towns, but then a lot of them have done a lot to preserve the historic structures. And there's also the different theories about spirits not being able to cross salt water.
Oh, I never heard that.
And there's also theories about limestone, and that helps to kind of trap the ghosts in. And Key West was once a large coral reef. So, I mean, our whole foundation is coralline limestone.
Right.
So those are some of the theories out there. I kind of think that it's never been an easy place to live, but people who do survive here, it's so rewarding. So I think when they finish up their regular lifespan, they're just not quite ready to leave.
Aw, that's kind of nice.
I get it.
Yeah, I get it. Every time we go, we don't want to leave either. So.
Yeah, it has that effect on people.
So probably like the most infamous, I know the one I think we are the most scared of, I don't even like talking about it, is Robert the Doll, which I know you have a close relationship with. Can you tell us the history of Robert the Doll?
Yeah, Robert came to Key West in 1904, and he was given to a little boy named Gene Otto, and Gene became obsessed with the doll. Gene's real name was Robert Eugene Otto, and he gave Robert to the doll, went by Gene for the rest of his life. And whenever he'd get in trouble for things, he'd never get the blame. He'd blame the doll. And, you know, this went on for a long time. He did go off and see the world. He went to Paris, met his wife, brought her back, and rekindled this relationship with Robert. And the stories around town, I mean, there are countless stories about him. But today he's up at the Fort East Martello Museum. It's this great old Civil War fortress. And close to 1 million people have come to Key West and heard his story, and over 1,000 of them have written a letter to Robert saying, "Please remove the curse," or "I'm sorry that I did this." So,
see, that's where we get worried.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, he's the world's most haunted doll.
Great. So great.
Yeah.
Love talking about him.
He doesn't like his picture taken.
Yeah, that's what we've heard. He doesn't like his picture taken.
Now I want to.
Yeah, you know,
Oh, go ahead.
there are a lot of legends about Robert, and people will tell you that you have to ask permission to take his photo, and that's one of the things that I'll tell people: absolutely do not ask permission, because it's very dangerous. The way that the legend started was when Robert went on display. It was before people had cell phones, and so people wanted a picture. They had the good old camera with the film and the battery, and it wasn't uncommon for any spirits to drain those batteries as a way for them to get energy, because all the spirits out there want energy. And with these batteries draining, people said, "Whoa, Robert doesn't like his picture taken." But then you had lots of rolls of film where nothing would turn out except the photographs of Robert. So somewhere along the way, a tour guide said, "Well, if he doesn't like his photo being taken, or if he's having these problems with the pictures, maybe you need to ask permission." So that legend just kind of stuck and evolved, and it actually puts a lot of people in danger.
Yeah, wow. I never thought about that. That's crazy. I know Garrett has a question for you about...
Yeah, it's a follow-up to, your relationship with Robert the doll. But have you specifically ever had any paranormal experiences with Robert?
I've had some really bizarre things happen around the doll.
Do tell.
I mean, I've been researching him since '96. The first time I went into the attic room at the artist house, which is the Otto home that Robert lived in for most of his life, the owner took me up to the attic to show me where Robert used to live. And the room was still furnished with the furniture that Gene Otto had put in there for Robert. And I'll tell you this, it looked like a creepy little kid's party was about to unfold.
Oh.
And the room was hot like an attic would be, but this different energy took over it. And I thought I was going to throw up if I didn't get out of there.
Wow.
And then, so I politely excused myself. And then when I went to the museum and saw Robert for the first time, he was locked in the back. He wasn't on display yet. And when they brought him out, he was, they set him on the table. I went to photograph him, and he looked like an inanimate object. There was nothing to him. And then when I went to grab for his hat, just to lift it off to take photos of him without the hat, you could see him change. Something popped into him. You could see an intelligence in his eyes, and that same negative heat energy I'd felt in the attic filled the room, and I thought I was going to throw up.
Wow.
I had, and then my camera, I tried to capture it to show the difference in the look. My camera would not function; it would not take those photos.
Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. I just got hot thinking about it.
Yeah, so that happened. And then I had some really bad things when I was writing the book about Robert. I lost 4 hard drives, and things got bad enough that I put out a plea on social media, and a Santeria priest came to help me. And he did some ceremonies to get rid of what was affecting me. But that was a really, they did a misa spiritual, just a spirit mass. But that opened my eyes to a lot of things. And something really cool that's happened just since I started doing the tours up at the fort with Robert. It was probably like the second day, and I went to the chiropractor in the morning. I was wearing a Robert the Doll shirt and a Robert the Doll mask. And when I walked in, he said, "I'll be right back. I've got to pick up some birds." And I said, "What, did I kill them with my Robert energy?" He goes, "It did happen right when you walked in." Wow. So there were 2 birds that had flown into his window. They were just the little yellow Cuban finch. And then we're standing there, and a third one does it. And I think to myself, and when I say to him, I go, "Whoa!" I said, "I'm not going to be able to do this if animals are going to be dying around me."
Yeah.
And then I went to the grocery store, and I was inside the store in the produce section. 2 of the exact same bird buzzed my head at the same time.
What?
Like one on either side.
That is
and
crazy.
Then that night, when I get to the museum, I go in to see Robert, and sitting on top of his case was the exact same bird.
Stop it.
And it was alive. I walked up to it and let me take it in my hand, and I took it outside and let it go. So 3 dead ones and then 3 live ones. It was the strangest thing. I've got a photograph of the one that was on top of his case because I just knew it was unbelievable. So Robert has this control over animals that's just crazy. People always say, getting a curse when you disrespect them. But there's a lot of people who Robert really takes a liking to, and they'll have something strange happen with animals. There was a couple who was out on the tour for their anniversary last week. And when they were pulling away, they said that a baby blue heron, flew down in front of their car. They go to a stop. It hopped up on top of their hood and looked at them and then flew away.
Weird. That's a little bit more pleasant, though.
Yeah. A little bit.
Yeah.
So, do you feel like he took a liking to you, or do you think he's not really sure?
No, Robert and I, we've been through a lot, and I think he's really pleased with what's happening now. Because it took me a while to understand what was really going on. When I started, it was all legends about Robert.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, I thought we were dealing with one entity. And through time, when things just didn't match up, it was like a real personality disorder on his part. And then I came to understand that there's multiple entities at work there.
Interesting. So is that at work in the fort itself, or are these entities all kind of residing in Robert?
Just around Robert.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there's a lot at the fort. There's 42 different spirits that have been reported there.
Wow.
But right around Robert, there's 3 main ones that we're aware of. And one of them's a good, innocent child, and the other 2 are not so nice.
I mean, there was a movie that came out recently, Annabelle. I think he's more haunted than that doll.
Yeah, Annabelle got the star treatment from Hollywood.
Yeah.
But if you look at the number of people who have actually been haunted by Annabelle, you could probably count them on one hand.
Right.
I don't even know if there's anybody alive who's experienced anything from her. And with Robert, every day people are talking about things with him. So, yeah, I think when it comes to being an actual haunted doll, Robert has affected a lot more people.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you not helping me not sleep tonight.
Yeah, that's wild.
So I know you do a Robert the Doll tour. So what kind of experience should guests expect? It's a night tour, right?
Yeah, you had us at night tour.
It's a nighttime tour. And what I do is I take people into the fort, and we spend about 30 minutes touring through the fort and unfold the true story. Because there's so many internet legends out there about Robert that are just wrong. So we dispel those legends And then I go through the real story and, get to the truth of it. And then we spend about 30 minutes with Robert. And we read him letters that people have written to him. People have a chance to ask him questions, and I have all types of paranormal equipment. I've got the FLIR thermal imager. I've got a great spirit box that we use with them. There's a REM pod, and I'll give them different little mystery gifts. I have a box, and we'll let somebody give them different gifts. And we tell the true story of what's really haunting Robert the doll, and we tell people how they can take pictures with him safely. And people leave with a completely different understanding of Robert than they started with.
Yeah, I heard at around midnight, for those that are brave enough, you guys do like a Ouija board sort of experience.
Yeah, something new that we're doing Robert the Doll's late night lantern lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
And that one's going to be after the regular tour. And it gives people an opportunity to tour through the entire fort. We give them a ghost hunting kit and a flashlight and turn off all the lights and give them free reign. And there's 20 different...
What?
Yeah, and we've got like 20 different haunted history markers around the fort that identify places where there's, that are paranormal hotspots.
Mm-hmm.
And so people can just really try to help us figure out who some of these ghosts in the fort are, because all types of activities reported. We know some of them are soldiers. We know some of them were slaves who helped build the fort. We've got a cat there. We're pretty sure that that's Fred. But there's other haunted artifacts. There's an old Calusa canoe. There's some artifacts in the convent section. And we don't know who exactly is haunting these areas. We see a male presence or a female presence. So this is going to be an opportunity for people to help us solve the history behind some of the objects too, and help us find out who these ghosts are.
That's so neat. So then like the people on the tour get to really contribute to every tour that comes after it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be an ongoing thing.
Yeah, I love that. So I know that now our listeners are going to be hooked, and they're going to be like, how do I get to Robert by way of David? So tell us where they can learn a little bit more about your ghostly adventures and where they can follow you on social media.
Yeah, if they go to ghostfort.com, that has all the information on both of our tours. And on social media, we're at Key West Ghost Fort.
Fantastic. So thank you so much for coming on, David. We appreciate.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, we appreciate the story. Tell Robert we said hi.
I am going to tell him that. I actually told him I'd be talking with you, and he said he was very excited, and he's looking forward to seeing you in Key West.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
Perfect.
we'll definitely try and catch up with you when we get there.
Yes, definitely. We'll let you know next time we're in town.
Great. We can wait.
All right. See you then.
All right. Happy hauntings.
Wow. That was incredible.
I am thoroughly spooked.
Right?
I ain't sleeping.
Seriously. Those birds.
I want an encounter with birds. I don't want them to peck at me,
fine.
but like
That might put me over the edge. If birds were committing suicide in front of me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's some.
I want happy encounters.
Yeah, but it sounds like he worked his way through it. Maybe Robert is someone that you have to like.
He like tests you.
Right. You kind of have to prove that you're in it for the long haul with him.
Yeah, it's like a fraternity.
Right.
He hazes you, and then he's like, okay, yeah, you're good.
You're
Yeah.
right.
I mean, he doesn't. I would imagine he's had a few different owners. He's seen a lot of things. He doesn't want you just making a mockery of him. Especially the guy's gonna live into eternity in a sailor suit.
And it
I
sounds
would
like
imagine.
Yeah.
His original owner like took very serious care of him. He had his own
Right.
room,
So he's used to the finer things. Yeah. Cool. So we actually went on one of his ghost tours before. Megan, do you remember that? This was like
do.
5 years ago.
I do.
It was awesome. It was really hot that night. I remember that. But it's what's cool about his tours, like he said, is you get to bring along some like equipment to actually ghost hunt. You're not just hearing about ghost stories. You're actually interacting with everything.
I'll just be the driver.
Yeah, I remember there was like a temperature gun.
Yes.
You could like see if it was like a cold spot.
You could shoot it into
'Cause
some of the older buildings.
Yeah, exactly. And like the house, because you can't go into some of them.
Yeah.
You could see activity.
Yeah. So, we've talked about before in last week's episode, you want to watch out for hitchhikers, right, Meg?
Mm-hmm.
So I know we teased this story a little bit. So tell me a little bit about the hitchhiking ghosts.
So hitchhiking ghosts are a very real possibility. So they give you these little dolls that are supposed to ward off these spirits. And Steph's sister, Val, took them and was like delighted, and then was like, you know what? I don't need these. She basically laughed in the face of danger and tossed
Reckless.
the
Truly
little dolls.
reckless.
And I was like, well, here's my opportunity. I fetched them out of the trash, and Later on, when she was changing, I put them into her pocket. So she found them again, and you should have seen the horror on her face that now is some hitchhiking dolls.
Right.
That's what happens when you make a mockery of it.
Right. So you taught her a lesson. What would you have done, Garrett, if you found the tossed dolls back in your pocket?
Well, if I was dating Megan, I'd know that she did it.
Would you, though? Or would you be scared first?
Oh, I'd be scared.
What if you had just spent 3 hours looking for ghosts?
Oh, yeah, I'd be really scared, but then I'd be like, Megan did this.
Yeah.
Didn't she?
You'd hope.
Oh, that did not cross her mind.
Yeah.
It was pure fear.
Yeah, that was cool. And then I actually went on a ghost tour in Key West like forever ago, and I can't remember the name of it, but it was so long ago that I had a disposable camera with me, and not one picture came out. Not one. Do you hear me? So like he talked about sucking the energy out of the cameras. It actually happened.
That's pretty freaky.
Yeah, it was freaky. I went and got them developed, and they were all like just like bright white light.
Does it take energy out of people, I wonder?
I mean, how could you not, right? I mean, maybe.
It would explain Lulu.
Yes,
After.
Lulu had an out-of-body experience, or the producer had an out-of-body experience during the ghost tour. But she's okay now, we think. More or less. Yeah.
If she's even herself anymore.
Right.
Maybe she's a hitchhiker.
Right, exactly. Some other cool places that you can visit in Key West, the Key West Cemetery. You've been there, right, Meg?
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah, it's huge. It's estimated that as many as 100,000 people have been laid to rest in the 19-acre Key West Cemetery, more than 3 times the number of living residents in the city. So there's more.
Wow, there's something.
Where do you keep your dead?
Where do you keep your dead? The cemetery was established in 1847 after a hurricane washed bodies from the previous location. My gosh, hurricanes be taking bodies. Right? No.
I mean, in Key West especially.
Right, yeah.
It's not over where you keep your dead.
Yeah.
Well, right here, you can't miss it. It's
Right,
huge.
yeah, it's huge. Look at it, it's right over here. So perhaps most recognized among the tombstones, because that's kind of a thing. And if you're in Key West, and especially during the cooler months, because it's pretty big, it's all outside. So if you're going to be walking around, you either want it to be cool or bring your ball of powder, right?
Bring your ball of powder.
Bring your ball of powder. There are really cool tombstones because something about Key West that we all love is the quirkiness, the humor. So you can go and hunt for the fun tombstones. So there's one that's famous of local hypochondriac BP Roberts or BP Pearl Roberts, which reads, "I told you I was sick." Literary references are around as well, with one tombstone reading, "So long and thanks for all the fish," a reference to Douglas Adams' book of the same name. Another reads, "GROK, look it up," from Robert Heinlein's novel Strange Criminal
look it
Pen.
up.
Look it up. What's GROK? Megan's going to be looking it up. Some other notable one-liners include, "Jesus Christ, these people are horrible."
That's me.
Yeah, this one's funny. "I'm just resting my eyes." You know?
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah. And then here lies a devoted fan of singer Julio Iglesias.
Would you like to know what GROK is?
Yes, what is GROK?
What is it spelled? GROK.
Yeah.
Okay, is a neologism coined by American writer Robert A. Heinlein for his 1961 science fiction novel Stranger in a Strange Land, and it means to understand intuitively or by empathy to establish rapport with.
Interesting. So just GROK.
Yeah, GROK on.
Yeah.
GROK.
GROK.
Wait, the book's major theme can be seen as a extended definition of the term. So basically, he really liked that book.
Right. The guy likes his grok. Then, if you're reading this, you desperately need a hobby. Rude. And I always dreamed of owning a small place in Key West.
Aw.
So it's kind of nice and also funny.
What if they didn't? What if they just rented and they never actually did it? That'd be sad.
Like, there's no body in there? Is that
No,
what you're saying?
what if he actually was renting and he didn't buy anything and
The
he died without his
Garrett's not
last-
getting it.
Yeah, but that's what he
The
owns.
small
he
thing
owns
he owns
the
is his
small
gravestone.
property.
Oh, that's the property.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've had 2 drinks.
I don't think he would have gotten it sober.
Yeah, well, that's the joke. It's like a double. All right.
Megan hates me.
That's not true.
Aw, I'm just smarter than you.
I'm kidding.
Oh, you're just dumb. There's much more to the cemetery than just punchline, epithets, and conch-shaped tombstones. Key West is also resting place to some famous residents. You ever heard of a little guy called Sloppy Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know the
Good stuff.
The food.
Yeah.
The man witch.
The guy is also laying to rest there. Lots of soldiers, some Cuban freedom fighters. There's some cool monuments. And if you like photography and you don't even like tombstone jokes, it's a great place to take a lot of really cool pictures. You can find roosters. There's like iguanas everywhere. It's pretty fun. Cool. That's all I got about ghosts.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I want to go on the night tour.
Yeah, we have to go next time.
Like, I'm scared, but the fact that you could just like free reign explore with flashlights, that
Oh
sounds
my
awesome.
gosh. I'd be really scared.
Do you think that Robert the doll would be offended if we played hide and seek in there?
Yes.
Well, I feel like since he's a doll, he's probably used to hide and seek.
I feel like he might find us instead of one of you guys. I'm out.
Ugh,
I'm out.
abort. Can we have like a panic button if we go? Like a safe word? Like, okay, it's too scary. Spumoni.
Spumoni.
Spumoni. Spumoni.
So-
You hear Spumoni, then you can't find me.
So, let's have the last word here. Do you guys believe in ghosts?
Yes.
I would love to say I don't. Like, I wish I could deny their existence.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I believe.
I mean, here's how I feel. I think that ghosts are like an oversimplification of whatever's happening.
Yeah.
Like, you can't deny that we're all energy. We can all agree that energy never stops. So just because you die doesn't, your human form doesn't mean that your energy doesn't move on or maybe even stay. And like what he said about the limestone and the salt water, like it kind of makes sense, So we'd love to know if you believe in ghosts at home. Hit us up on Instagram at Just Take a Dip and let us know.
Just.take.a.dip.
And let us know if you believe in ghosts. If you follow us on social media, we've got a lot of giveaways going on this week, so be sure to check those out and enter for your chance to win. Hey, straws. Hey. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Just a Podcast in Paradise. We know you have your choice of travel podcasts, and we thank you for choosing to travel with us. We would love it if you would subscribe so you don't miss an episode and give us a 5-star review if you enjoyed your time with us today. You can also follow us on Instagram at Just Take a Dip for daily updates on what's happening around Florida, and check out our YouTube channel, Just a Day in Paradise, for destination ideas, restaurant reviews, unboxing things you might want to take on your next trip, and copycat recipes from some of your favorite places in paradise. We're wishing you a little bit of sunshine wherever you are, and we hope to see you in paradise soon. Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye there. We will
Bye.
see you next week.
Where do you keep your dead?
I don't know. The city morgue.
I need sugar.
If you do believe in ghosts and you have a story, and that's why you
Yes.
believe, please tell
Let us
Please
know.
tell us now.
We'll have you on. You can come
Yeah.
tell us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want to hear it.
We'll
We
figure out
won't
the
pay
story
you.
live.
We
All
won't
right.
pay you.
Whoa, say goodbye.
Oh, keep it
Where do you keep your dead?